Hey everyone, Jared Gatsby, your local real estate superhero here again, doing our morning gratitudes, kind of starting our day off right. I always start my days off with trying to do some form of gratitude, and you're going to kind of get an idea of what goes into my day a little bit with some of these, just because I kind of went into my schedule a little bit with my gratitudes today. But moral of the story is I really like starting my days off with gratitude. I figured doing a video series like this might be good to help other people kind of, you know, I always push for people to start their days off with gratitude and, just start your day off with something positive. But if I'm just the annoying guy that throws positivity your way, I'm okay with that too. And yeah, if I can make one person smile off of me just being goofy and dumb, then I'm going to count that as a win. So we do 5 gratitudes every single morning. And so going over number 1, I put starting the night before. And that's where I was talking about going into like my schedule a little bit. I have admittedly been kind of busy lately, and so I've been kind of putting a back seat on some of the lesser things that I needed to do, but we talk about it all the time, with enjoying the little things, but outside of just enjoying the little things, sometimes if you postpone the little things, whether they be work or personal life, eventually they build up into a bigger picture. And so some of the things that I needed to do, I just really haven't been doing, and so instead I found some free time last night at around 11 o'clock, and so I figured I would start utilizing that time to get everything prepped for today, which I always try to prep a little bit for my days going forward, but I mean, it was getting to the point where I was just busy, and so I didn't really have a whole lot of time to do a lot of prepping. I was doing a lot of just work, doing the work that I tell people I'm going to be doing. And so it wasn't really leaving me with a lot of room to prep for finding more work later. So I was able to do that. I dedicated a few hours to it yesterday at around 11 p.m. whenever I had some free time, and was really able to kind of just jumpstart my day today, which helped a lot. And so I always really recommend that you start your day the night before, but I also understand that that's not always an option for a lot of people, and it hasn't been an option for me lately. So getting back on track, starting the night before, number 1, very easy thing that I'm really grateful for. Number 2, I put having a very solid car. I have a very nice car right now. Not going to go into a whole lot of detail on what kind of car it is because I'm not a big car guy. But that is also part of the point. Is I'm not a big car guy. I'm not good with cars. I'm not anything close to mechanic worthy. And anytime I have a problem, I defer to someone who knows more than me because most people know more than me. But I mean, I know basic stuff. I know how to check my oil. I know how to change a tire. I know how to, do basic stuff. But when it comes to any big issues, I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. And so I've always tended to have a decent car, but now I have one that I can actually really rely on. So in a nutshell, first car I ever got was like dirt money. It was from a family member, and it was absolutely worth it for the price, but the car itself wasn't the best. But it was, again, not going to complain. The money I spent on that car just was nothing, and so I have zero room to bitch and moan about that car and any problems it may have had or not had. It was worth it for what it was cost. The second time I got a car, it really, honestly speaking, I went to a car lot, not going to name the name of the car lot, and it was the first time I've ever bought a car from a car lot because the car before that was from family. And so I admittedly got taken advantage of. It was before I ever really got into sales. I was still really young, and I was a mortician at that point. So who did I talk to? I was around, people who had died more than I was around people who were alive. And so, yeah, no, I got fully taken advantage of at the car lot. Not going to do that again. And I didn't with this last time, which is cool. But I just got taken advantage of on that one. So the car was not worth it for the price. It had problems, and the problems were things that weren't easy to find. And so they just, every time something would happen, we'd get it fixed, and another problem would happen. And it's big level of headaches. Then we got another car, and it had its own level of stuff to the point where it just basically run down one day. And we had to get another car, and so we ended up getting one, and I made sure that we got a good deal on it, or rather my family did, because again, I went there like, hey, I got screwed the last time, I need backup. And so we made sure we got a really good deal, and the car works really well, and it's not new, it's not like I got it recently, but my little sister got her first car recently, and it's also a very good deal, and so it made me thinking about the stuff that I appreciate. So number 2 is I have a car that I can really trust, especially right now, because so much of what I do for business, well before I got that car, this shows how long I've had it, but I do a lot of driving for work, meeting with people and appointments, going from home to home, doing a whole bunch of stuff. I need a car that I can rely on. So having one helps, both personally, no headaches, but also just from a practical standpoint. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, sometimes seeing someone else get something new that's really cool makes you appreciate whenever you've gotten stuff like that in the past too. So that's number 2. Number 3, I put Lily and I have been getting a lot closer. Because of, everyone being in lockdown right now, you're kind of stuck with whoever you live with. And I don't know if I would be as comfortable with anyone else. I obviously lived with family whenever I was a little kid, but you fight all the time. And it's not to say that me and my wife don't fight. It's just to say that I think the times where we're not fighting is so much more fun than the times when we are fighting suck. And what does that mean? That just basically means that I really enjoy just goofing off with my wife. I work a lot, but whenever I find time to be able to spend with her, it's always just a blast. And then she tries to come with me to a lot of, the smaller end appointments that I've got where it's like, hey, I'm going to be here for 20 minutes. And so I, we'll go on a drive together and then we can go get dinner afterwards or something. And so, in a situation where you're in lockdown, I feel like I personally, if it were anyone other than her, would be finding appointments to leave them at home so that way I can just leave and be by myself. But when it comes to her, I don't know. It's just fun to kind of have her there with me. So I feel like being in lockdowns really helped us become closer. We've always been growing together because we got married so young, but it's really fun to be able to value your wife or your significant other or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Doesn't matter. Just having someone that you really value to the point where you're actually looking for more time to spend whenever you're stuck with them. I don't know, I kind of like that. Kind of like her. She's annoying. Don't get me wrong, my wife is very annoying, but so am I, and I bully her in that sense. Like, I try to find ways to pick on her, so I have no excuse, and I really enjoy the fact that she just lets me pick on her and then tries to find ways to pick on me back. Makes it fun. But I can talk for hours about my wife, so I'm not going to do that. Number 4, I put having non-clients trusting me. So I have people that are my clients. I work with them on a lot. And so they look at me as a resource. Fantastic. Awesome, right? I'm a resource. Woo! You just heard my computer ding, but ignore my computer dinging and focus on me talking about how I'm a resource, No. But I sometimes, and very periodically, I'll have someone who, is not like a client of mine. They're either just a friend or they're someone who sees me helping a lot of other people, and they may not have anything relevant to real estate that they're looking for, but they know I know people. Or they have stuff going on with their house, but they're not planning on selling it anytime soon. And they know, hey, this is the house guy. And so they look to me for that. And there's just, as much as I'm never going to make money off of something like that, there's a certain amount of joy that comes from the fact that people don't just see me as a guy that's looking to make money. And there's some fun in that. Being in real estate, you work for free a lot. And so it's fun to be known as the person who's not just in it for money. I don't know. That's just fun. I apologize for you guys hearing things like my computer and stuff in the background. I know that's loud and kind of obnoxious, and so I will work on making sure that that doesn't happen in the future. But that's number 4. Just having people out there that know that I'm not just in it in order to try to look at people like a paycheck, because I don't. But it's easy to see a salesperson and think, wow, they're just a salesperson. And I don't have commission breath, which is good, but I know that some people do. And so I guess I'm just grateful on all fronts. I'm grateful that I don't have commission breath. I'm grateful that I'm not just in it for the money, and I'm grateful that people really appreciate that and can trust me to just be there and be human. So that's it. That's number 4. Number 5, I put recorded trainings. So I do a lot of training. Just in general, I incorporate that into my schedule as much as I can, with the exception of whenever I'm actually having to work. So I'll find time to do it as often as possible, and a lot of times I'll have it being something I'm playing in the background. So a good example is right now, the reason why you're hearing my computer is I do videos like this, but I have training going on in the background that I just have paused. Why do I have it paused? Because it's recorded, because I don't always have time. I work a lot, I have appointments all the time, and if I don't have appointments, I'm usually doing some kind of other work to do the things that I tell people I'm going to do whenever I'm in the appointments. So I have to tell the truth, and so I don't have a lot of time to schedule out training. I try to have the big ones hit, oh, this is my sales meeting, this is my shareholders meeting, this is, stuff like that. But when it comes to, hey, this is a social media training, or this is appraisal training, stuff like that, then it becomes a matter of like, well, do I have time to do that on Tuesday at 12? No. Okay, what do I do? Well, thanks to everyone being in shutdown, Zoom meetings are so much more popular now, and so everything's being recorded. And Some of it you have to pay for or be an exclusive member for, but it's there and it's around our schedule. And I think if nothing else, I've shown today that my schedule can get really hectic. And so having this stuff as something I can do or watch or listen to whenever it's convenient versus having to shift everything around my schedule in order to work for training, it's important because training's important. I don't care who you are or what industry you're in. Training's important. Fine-tuning your skills is important. Sharpening your knowledge is important. And actually being able to tell people the truth when you say that you're the best is important. So training matters a lot to me. And so I will always make time for it, but I really value whenever it's making time for me. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. But those are my 5 things that I'm grateful for. My question for you guys, I went over my schedule a lot, but it's ultimately, that's very me-centered. But I did talk about my wife too, and I told you guys I could talk for, hours about her because it's easy to, because I really care about her. But I want to know about you guys as far as, who do you value? But beyond that, I think I asked the other day, what do you do with the people that you value? And how do you have fun, or what do you guys go do? All that stuff. But what about the people that are just around you all of the time? Not, hey, what do you do to go have fun? But what do you do on a day-to-day basis with the people that you're surrounded with? Whether it be, your siblings if you're still younger, whether it be your spouse if you're married, whether it be a roommate if you're in college, or if you're trying to save money, whatever your situation is, whoever you're around the most, what do you do on those dull moments that just make it fun and worth it? Or if it's not fun and worth it, what do you do in order to try to get out and kind of get your own alone time? That's it. That's what I want to know. What do you do with the people that you care about that you're around the most? Because it's easy to talk about wanting to go out and do stuff, or wanting to go visit someone, or wanting to go out and experience something. But 95% of your day is what you do just generally, So I want to know what that is. What do you do to have fun? I will thank you guys now for watching this video. I'm clearly in a weird mood, but I'm okay with that. And yeah, thank you guys again for watching. I really appreciate it. I will talk to you guys later, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye.